I talked with Dr. Cornell West at Princeton University a few weeks ago. We talked about quite a bit, including his thoughts on what threatens American democracy.
We've seen greed running amok, especially at the top. We've seen indifference. And indifference is the one trait that makes the very angels weep, to turn away from people who are suffering. And then the politics of fear, scare tactic, the scapegoating, viewing people as alien, stranger, un-American, and so forth. Now, those are lethal. You bring those together, you can snuff out your democracy.
Some people will say, though, Doctor, that this has always been going on, but does it feel worse to you now than at any other time?
Well, the difference is, my brother, we got two wars, and the wars have been rendered invisible. The Bush administration won't even allow us to see the bodies in the coffins, but those bodies are just as precious as any other bodies in the world. And we've got near depression, and we've got race surfacing. And we know race, of course, is the most explosive issue in the country. So we're at a turning point.
Who's to blame for that, though? I mean, the Democrats are blaming the Republicans. The Republicans are saying it's deregulation. It started with Clinton and all of this stuff. Are we all to blame? Who's to blame? If we're going to lay blame somewhere, whose shoulders should it fall?
Well, I think there's degrees and gradations of blame. Certainly all of us are in some sense responsible, because during this political ice age, we didn't have enough people speaking the truth. We talked about greed. They say, quit whining. We talk about 20% of our children living in poverty. They say, why are you accenting the night side and not the best side? You see. But most of the blame has to do with the corporate elites and the financial elites at the top, who have been hemorrhaging the wealth. So when you think of the billions and billions of dollars that have been made, but workers' wages are staggering, and you know the dilapidated housing and the disgraceful school systems in cities.
But you're not just talking about the people on Wall Street. Are you talking about in the highest levels of government as well?
Well, government, the political elites have been beholden to the corporate and the financial elites. That's the corporate influence in Washington. On the other hand, the people have been sleepwalking. So all of us have to take responsibility. We've been too conformist, too complacent, and too cowardly. We didn't want to speak up against the grain.
I'm glad you mentioned that conformity. But you know, there are people who now, if you said what you said just now to me on the campaign trail, and people who are watching this are going to say, he's un-American.
And I would say, I am anti-injustice in America, and I'm proud of it. I'm anti-injustice if I was in Ethiopia. I'm anti-injustice if I was in Russia. Anywhere I am, I'm anti-injustice. So if to speak out against anti-injustice in America makes me anti-American, they can call me anything I want. Because I'm a Christian, so my allegiance is to the cross, first and foremost. Anyway, the flag comes second. But on the other hand, the best of America, Martin Luther King Jr., you see, Fannie Lou Hamer, white sisters like Lydia Maria Child, or brown brothers like Cesar Chavez. That's the best of America. They were what? Anti-injustice in America. That to me makes them very American, but it's the best. But all of us feel more proud when we see Martin Luther King Jr. as opposed to George Wallace. That's white brothers and sisters. They're human like anybody else. They know Martin King has a depth of spirituality and a level of maturity that George Wallace just didn't have. We ain't got nothing against George as a human being. He's spiritually underdeveloped. He suffered from moral constipation. He couldn't get the good out of his soul most of his life. God bless him, be with him, now he's passed.